So in the spirit of Halloween, I have a horror story called The Crowd by Ray Bradbury. Spallner was driving along. He put his hands across his face. He was hurling through the air, smashing against a wall, tumbling the car over another wall. And then there was silence. There's blood coming out of his mouth. And he heard footsteps. And he looked over. His upside-down car, the wheels were still spinning. How were people getting here so quickly? They hovered over him and sucking up the air. He looked up and there were three faces that jumped out at him. This woman with very red hair and too much red on her cheeks. A young boy with freckles on his face. And an old man with a wrinkled upper lip. One of them said, "Is he going to die?" Another one said, "Don't move him. He'll live." And Spallner looked up at them. How did they get here so quickly? And he could tell by the expression on their face that he was going to live. These people seemed like the judge and jury of his life. There was something very wrong. He heard a siren, and then a policeman and an ambulance, and the crowd stared at him, and he stared back. How did they get here so quickly? They put him into the ambulance, closed the door, and the crowd pressed their faces against the window. The ambulance drove off, and Spallner sunk back. And even with his eyes closed, the crowd was staring at him. The wheels spun in his mind for days. And then sunlight, a hospital room, someone taking his pulse. The doctor said, "Are you all right?" The wheels faded away and he looked around and said, I guess so, but Doc, this accident, my car was upside down, the wheels were still spinning, and all of a sudden people were there. How could they get there so quickly? The doctor said, "Oh, when accidents happen, there's always time distortion." He said, "No, I could tell the wheels were still spinning. There's friction in wheels. They don't spin that long before the friction cuts them down. And these people, I could tell by looking at them that I was going to live." "You're just confused," said the doctor. Well, his friends visited him over the next week, and to everyone he told the same story, but they all laughed and brushed him off. But he said, "There's something strange about how quickly they got here. Stranger even than the man-made accident." Well, 2 weeks later, he was released from the hospital. And he was driving home in a cab, and the cab slowed down. And he leaned forward and said to the driver, "What's going on?" Cabbie said, "There's an accident up ahead. Want me to take a different route?" "Yeah, do that." No. I want you to go closer." And they got closer and they could see the wrecked car and the body on the pavement. And there were the same people coming around, hovering over the body. Cabbie said, "Damn, the crowd that always gathers after an accident. They get there so quickly you'd think it was their own mother in the accident." And Spallner looked down and he saw his hand was trembling on his knee. And he rolled down the window. And he almost wanted to yell out, but he stopped himself because he knew that if he yelled, they would look at him. and he didn't want to see their faces. Well, the next morning, he was in his office with his boss, and he was talking about the accident. It was about 5:30 in the afternoon, and all of a sudden, in the street below, there was this horrible, crunching, shrieking sound of crushed metal and glass. And Spallner looked down. There was an ice cream truck and a small car, tangled together. He looked at his watch. 3 seconds, 4, 5. There were people coming already. 8, 9, more people from all over. 15 seconds, there was a crowd. Spallner recognized the people. I got to go down and look closer. His boss said, "You're crazy. You just got out of the hospital. You're weak." But they ran down, and Spallner saw the woman with the red hair. "Do you see her?" he said to his boss. "See who?" said his boss. But she disappeared into the crowd. But Spallner saw the old man with the wrinkle in his upper lip. Someone in the crowd said, "Here, let's move her, make her more comfortable." And Spallner thought, "No, you don't move somebody when they're this badly hurt." And then another person in the crowd said, "Is she dead?" And someone else said, "She will be before the ambulance arrives." And Spallner walked away thinking, you don't move somebody when they're badly hurt. Well, then he got obsessed, and he spent the next few weeks down in the newspaper building researching clippings and photos from car accidents. He had them spread all over his desk, and his boss said, "What's going on with you? Ever since you've had this accident, all you've been doing is collecting clippings and photos." Spallner said, "Look at this. See that woman? Notice that she's in every photo. And she's wearing the same clothes over a period of 10 years. His boss said, "I'll be damned. But you know something that's going on and you're not telling. You're hinting at it. What's going on? You've been scaring yourself, and now you got me shaken." And Spallner said, "I'll tell you soon, but I have to bring these photos to the police. This has gone on too long." So now Spallner is driving to the police station, driving slowly. He said, "I'm driving slowly because I have to get there alive." And he was shocked, but not surprised, to see a huge truck hurtling towards him from the other lane, smashing into his car, his head hammered against the windshield. He was rocked back and forth by lightning-quick jolts until the movement stopped, the noise stopped, and only pain filled him up. He fell out of the car door onto the pavement, and he heard the footsteps. Blood was pouring out of his mouth as he squinted up, and he saw the familiar faces. He tried to speak, but nothing came out of his mouth. He tried to move, but there was something horribly wrong with his spine. He could not move. The old man with the wrinkle in his upper lip said, "Somebody come and help move him with me, make him more comfortable." Inside Spallner's head, his brain was bursting. "Don't move me, my spine, it'll kill me." And somebody else came over and they moved him into a ramrod of shrieking agony. A voice from the crowd, "Is he dead?" "No, but he will be before the ambulance arrives." Spallner looked up at them. I know who you people are, he thought. You're here after every accident. You were killed in car accidents over the years. And now you show up and you choose who will live and who will die. And you wanted me to die. That's why you moved me. And then there was a siren coming, getting closer and closer. And Swalner, with all of his might, was able to speak a little bit. I'll be joining you now. I guess I'll be part of your group now. And then he closed his eyes and waited for the call.